Welcome back to the Red and Dreaad podcast.
What's good? What's good, guys? Welcome, welcome. Today we're putting revenge under the microscope. Not just a Hollywood version with explosions, but the real stuff, the petty, the quiet, the long game.
And to be fair, we will get there, but we got to start with what drives you to revenge first. And we're not going to talk about any specifics, of course, but let's say you got a friend who is engaged and has found out that they've been cheated on. Now,
Tough.
obviously, bad situation. It is tough. It's brutal. You're going to feel for them because they're your friend. But you do have to ask some questions that they definitely don't get to ask themselves in the moment. You know, and I think the most important one is the person doing the cheating, are they better off cheating and shattering a relationship rather than going, hey, I'm not feeling this anymore. I've been not feeling it for a while. Let's split. Let's take a break. What do you think is the mindset of, actually, I know we're engaged. I am going to have a child with someone else. Is there a mindset?
So, honestly, really good question. I like the question where you're going with this because first thing I want to say is this automatically dips back into our past episode about why boredom, people with boredom, like why they want to almost create chaos in their life. Like, I feel like obviously the simpler option would be to talk to the person. If you want out, just say you want out. If you're bored, if you lost interest, if whatever the reason may be, you grew apart, what have you. Exactly, like what fuels the decision to make the chaotic, throwing a grenade in that thing and just blowing it up versus like you could have bowed out gracefully, maybe even left somewhat of the relationship intact. I think it speaks to that. It's almost like maybe that person's bored, tired of the relationship, what have you, so they decide to cause like cause a chaotic event.
Okay. Okay. So do you think it's a lack of ability to voice one's own feelings?
Yes, or the fear, possibly the lack and the fear, because you know I'm sure to you and obviously to me, like the simpler option would be to just speak up, communicate what you feel versus like this, by cheating and literally having a child with someone else outside of your relationship, you're clearly trying to get out of the relationship, but it's like in the most chaotic way possible where you can almost,
Do you think there's a mind state?
you're taking less accountability almost. I mean, it's clearly that person's fault, but they're, it's almost just like, well, this happened, I didn't mean for it to happen, but this happened, versus saying like, no, I didn't want to be here anymore. Literally, like sometimes it's I think for a lot of people it's harder to have that serious, possibly awkward, tense conversation than to blow some shit up and have an argument and in the relationship with the chaos and the possibly revenge pending.
Yeah, because I mean, I would think, like, I would want to avoid what comes with throwing grenades, you know?
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
we've got Bruno Mars songs, all about grenades. And I think it is a really, loving thing to hop on somebody's grenade. And let's say Bruno Mars got cheated on, you know. Bruno Mars got cheated on. He's like, "Don't worry, I'll hop on this grenade. You don't like this is chaos and you did this, but I'll hop on this grenade. We'll be fine."
I mean,
I mean, that sounds crazy.
yeah, it doesn't. It literally, it makes no sense. It's for a lot of people. I don't know why that's the go-to move. And even like in different situations, it doesn't have to necessarily be like a relationship or relationship based, but that tends to be the go-to move.
Yeah, chucking
Like you could even think
grenades.
about it with like you could even I feel like you could almost apply it to anything, like say a job. People rather just quit and not show up than go in and say, "Hey, I found another job," or "I'm leaving. This is my 2 weeks." Maybe even doing your 2 weeks and then just stepping out graceful. They'll rather just, "No, I'm not gonna go back. I'm not going back." Uh, like they typically you find people don't want to face those kind of situations. They don't want to step into that bubble of emotion, whatever you want to call it. They don't want to acknowledge or deal with it. They rather like, I'd rather just blow it all up because then I can blame it almost on the action itself than me specifically. Like,
Do you think that okay, let's do you think revenge, which I feel like revenge is the one of the most I am taking control of a situation. I'm taking accountability for a situation type of behaviors that there is. You know what I mean? Like usually
yes,
revenge comes from you not being in control and someone hurting you. And it sounds like a lot of revenge comes from a place of someone not wanting to take that that accountability, and it leads to pain, and then someone else ends up taking that accountability, usually back at the person that didn't want to take it. But
right.
so in my mind it seems like, well, you just take accountability first and it's not you know coming for your knees.
Yeah, that's a fair point. And it's funny because I feel like, revenge is easy for people. It's very, um, so forgiveness is more like noble. It's more spiritual. It's like taking the high road.
Mhm.
And then you have revenge, which is like dessert. It's like maybe you shouldn't, but it's easy to say yes to, and it's like sometimes it's good. It feels good. It feels good. I'm not saying it is good, but it does feel good when you get it, or you even like start to dabble in that. It's like having cheesecake at like 2 a.m.
Okay,
when
okay.
you probably shouldn't, but you're just like, it was so good, like, and I knew it was gonna be good, like when I was thinking about it,
Yeah, I was thinking
and they
like a
say,
sausage, egg, and cheese for breakfast. You know, like
or see even that,
I
it's
shouldn't
like
be eating this. Yeah,
it's so easy. And it's easy to convince yourself to do it too. Like, you shouldn't, but it's easy to be like, you know what, though? It's all right. Like, say for like in the relationship example, you know what? It's okay because look what they did to you. So is it that bad if I do it to them and just level the playing field a bit and put a tally mark on my side? It's really easy to talk yourself into it. Very
yeah,
easy to convince yourself.
yeah.
I'll tell people you're the most lenient boss you're ever going to have. Okay. You cut yourself so much slack. We all do, myself included. We cut ourselves so much slack. Worst possible boss ever. So to me, yeah, it's they say your brain when you imagine like payback and revenge, your brain lights up in the same areas as like of your pleasure centers. So it's like you're getting a reward, even when you're thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that dump, you know.
That dopamine dump,
Yeah.
yeah. So even planning it feels good. You're like, man, just the thought of it is so tempting.
Okay. Okay. Now let's say let's get into this revenge, right? I my favorite revenge is revenge body, personally. I'm a revenge body is great revenge. It makes everybody smile. It makes I mean even the person that you're getting revenge on, if they see your revenge body, they smile. You know what I mean? You know, like I had a friend he got broken up with after roughly 15 years of
Damn,
involvement.
15 years.
Yeah, it was like a 15 to 30 type situation. Crazy that he started dating her at 15 and all the way to 50. But, you know, power to him
Keep going.
power to him while it was positive. And he ended up getting cheated on and leaving her, and he ended up losing like 200 pounds, right? Ended up
Damn,
losing
okay.
200 pounds, getting slim. People, you know, people never, spoke to him. He was it's crazy when you see like, there's like people that are big, and then there's like people because like I'm big, right? But like the buddy I'm thinking about, you know, he was like 400 plus, so he lost 200 pounds, and all of a sudden he is like an Adonis, right?
Yeah, he looks, yeah.
Yeah, muscles sticking out of places that like he didn't know. He literally thought was just like piles of fat on his back, and like it made everyone so happy to suddenly see this dude who, I mean, still can't fit in a car, right? Because he's a big guy, still can't fit in a car, but now it's like it's cool that he can't fit in a car. You know what I mean? Like he looks like Mr. Incredible in a car.
Yeah, he flipped it.
Yeah. Yeah, and like there's
So we're
so
like,
much.
oh, that's crazy. You can't fit in a car.
Yeah.
To
Now
like,
it's like,
oh, dang, he can't even fit in the car.
yeah. Yeah. And it's just like it's to me that's very cool, right? Here's this like extremely positive way to have this psychological edge on somebody that wronged you. And you know what? I mean, is there like revenge truly even happening there? Because like the other person, is feeling positive too because you know, you're just a more attractive person, you know?
Yeah.
Like they're going to feel bad for themselves that they cheated on you. It's like, okay, well, probably not. They're just going to feel bad that they don't get to continue to be with you. And it's like,
Yeah.
so like the most emotion they're feeling is still positive, so it's like there is this potential for positive revenge. And that's kind of why I wanted to start off with the revenge body, because it's not always negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And it may come with like some negative views of yourself, but you know, eventually those go away when you change yourself. Hate to say it, but you can better yourself. So I don't know. That's where I wanted to start. I like self improvement. I like growing in a positive direction, and I think that's what the revenge body is. Now,
I like that. That's a really good um assessment of like the revenge body, cuz like it's almost as if the person took that feeling of revenge and like anger and all those things that factor in and used it as fuel to, like you said, self improve themselves. Just turned it into fuel instead of letting it um like fester and rot. They used it as fuel to better themselves.
yeah, yeah,
So like you said, very positive side of it, and not really a negative side for either side of the, both parties.
yeah. I like to think of a revenge body as the culmination of using like fertilizer. Fertilizer before it's processed is refuse. And I think that's a lot of what takes a revenge body to be built. It takes refuse that you were thrown, and you break it down into functional pathways to self-improvement. You know, just like uh, just like you would with your watermelon bits and coffee grounds. You keep those from last year fermenting, building that fertilizer, and then you use that to grow better plants. And I don't know, I haven't quite figured out what like earthworms are in this analogy, but there's some earthworms in there. And then an earthworm might be something like a heart on Instagram, which I'm still trying to figure out as a whole. But like people can heart your photos and stuff, and like they let you know that you like it. Like that helps process the fertilizer into more functional nutrients for that revenge body. Post
Contributes to the overall.
Yeah, like posting that photo of like in the mirror at the gym, and like some cute girl goes like, "Yeah, I do like that." That's just like this earthworm like digging through that pile of shit that your ex left because, they're rude and don't want to take, you know, that
That accountability.
yeah, that accountability. Yeah. Micro accountability is something really interesting now that I think about it. Do you, because you're on social media. Do you feel like there is a, I don't know, almost like a caffeine that you get from somebody liking one of your posts or something like that, like a momentum builder or something like that?
Yeah, I would say 100%. I would say for a lot of people, it's that way. I would say, you know, even not just social media, largely social media, primarily social media, but even just your phone. Like people want, especially those likes, people want those likes. It's like a hit of dopamine almost. And like the same thing with messages and stuff. Like it gives you that when your phone dings or like goes
Mm,
off like some type of notification that something happened. Like if it's your Instagram or your like Twitter or like TikTok, whatever, what you got. When those notifications are going off, like people want that. They get that hit of dopamine, and they crave it. Like if they're used to it happening and there's a day where it's not going off, they're probably checking their phone more. They're like, why isn't anyone, they're constantly looking at those kind of things. So I would say, yeah, it's very, very prominent in social media.
Okay. What would you say is the phone buzzing equivalent of revenge?
That's tough because there could be a few different versions. I would say maybe the long game revenge, which
Okay.
obviously that's just, I'm dubbing it that right now, long game revenge.
Okay.
Um, because I feel like it's not so much about like hurting them, more so as it's about like creating a moment that they can't forget or unsee or
Hmm.
something like that. Like
Okay.
very like stick with you. Like, you could do something to someone in the moment, you're like, oh, I got revenge on them, but then years later it doesn't even. But in the long game, where you're kind of slow roasting that revenge, you can usually people, you know, you can give them a moment they won't forget. Slow burn. Like,
Okay. Okay.
so
Undeniable
to me,
impact.
yeah, it kind of matches that phone buzz because to me it's something that's gonna keep coming back. It's it might not always be there, but it will be. The different things can trigger it, so you're always having that memory.
Okay.
Just kind of like the phone dinging, so it's just constantly like repeating. Like
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I went to school with this kid that was a revenge kid. His his mom found out his dad had been cheating on her, like in the military in Korea. So, yeah. So she cheated on him. I wonder if that's how his dad felt. You know, like like a constant buzzing in his pocket. It's like, oh, shouldn't have done that because here's this revenge, like literally pulling on your pants, like asking you like to go play. You know?
that is, yeah. In the end, like that's because I'm like, what? Imagine like what's harder to deal with? Like, okay, someone cheated on you or stepped outside the relationship because they lost interest and they really got interested in someone else and they maybe just should have told you and didn't communicate these things and blah blah blah. Or did you violate something and then it's like revenge for them to do the same thing to you? I'm like, what would you say is worse?
I don't know. Probably the unbalanced. I think balance brings peace. You know, I'm not saying that like, an eye for an eye is the best way to live, but I mean, I know very few relationships that are still going through cheating. You know,
Yeah, no, definitely, most definitely. It's tough to get past. If people could do it, more power to them.
yeah. Like I know
But
that air conditioning people and a couple that is no longer in a open relationship situation.
that came and went, huh? That came
Yeah,
and went.
came and went.
That's the thing. People would be denying feelings that they know they're gonna have. Like you lying. If you say you're in a relationship with someone, like there can't be a variable. I feel like, or you're not in a relationship. It's that simple to me. Like, and don't frame it as that because then you're gonna have problems if someone tries to go outside the framework. Essentially. So
Yeah, and humans are animals, whether we like it or not. We do feel fenced in by the rules that we make for ourselves, and no matter what, your brain wants to get out of a situation it feels fenced into. You know, you just have to. Interesting, interesting. Do you have a favorite type of revenge?
I think I would say with the type I spoke to earlier, I personally I can't really think of an actual scenario where I could say I got revenge. Um, because I feel like if I'm not pissed off, I'm just gonna walk. Like I'm gonna want nothing to do with it. I'm not gonna want to stay tapped in and trying to like get back at the person necessarily. So for me, I would say if I had to choose though a type of revenge, probably the long game revenge. I would want to leave some type of lasting imprint if I was gonna do it. I'm like, okay, if I'm mad enough to seek revenge on you, then we're gonna do this. We're all in. I'm calling in the team. There's gonna be like brainstorming meetings. We're going in. No, but yeah, I think I would want to leave a lasting impression. Like, oh yeah, you ain't gonna forget this shit. You don't think of me and what happened every time, like, such and such comes up or something comes up, whatever.
Yeah, like buying the house they're renting, or
Yeah, and they gotta pay rent to you or something. Like, it's just like, yeah, that's gonna fuck with them. Like, that's gonna fuck with somebody.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I grew up with three little brothers, so I feel like revenge is almost a game for for boys. You know what I mean? Like, one brother like hides your Gundam, and so you hide his comic book, stuff like that. Like that's revenge where I think it's like it's not necessarily destructive, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's like constructive in the sense of the two ways that we described earlier. Like even what you're describing, like this lasting impression where it's like, I mean, they pay you rent, or they pay you royalties or something like that. Like that's still constructive. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
do,
True.
do,
Fair point.
do you feel like that constructive nature is just because you're like a positive person,
I
or
think, yes, I would say yes. I do try to lean into like obviously being more positive, but I would think too, it's also a win win.
hmm
Like, if you're if I can get the like revenge I'm seeking and I'm still bettering myself, like it's a good opportunity. Like, oh yeah, I'm renting out this place now, I'm getting residual income, and it's from someone that like I have issues with in the past, and now they got to deal with like paying me, which I'm sure to some degree would bother the person a little bit. Maybe not. It might not like flip it all upside down, but you're like, I know, I just planted that seed. So,
Okay.
but it's funny because you got to be careful with revenge because revenge is sweet as they say, but then, till it's not. Like sometimes plotting on people can backfire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like some dude went to slash like his boss's tires, ended up slashing the wrong fucking car's tires. So now he's paying for replacements on the wrong fucking car and he's fired. So I'm like, okay, that did not work. Now you got screwed over twice. Like that's the set. They got you again. Like, so I feel like that line between revenge and regret is like a chalk line, and it can start raining at any time. So it's like,
Yeah. You don't want to
which
be
also kind of
blinded.
points to what, yeah, that's also why I think, if you had to, the long game is better because you're planning it out. You're more than likely considering all scenarios versus like a quick impulse, like I'm gonna cut that motherfucker's tires, and then you run up to the wrong vehicle
Hmm.
all quick and not pissed off, not thinking,
Have you seen
and
Old
then
Boy?
I have not.
Think you might like it. It's a classic, long-term revenge story.
Okay.
Hey,
Old Boy, huh?
yeah,
Viewers, listeners, go ahead. If you've
Korean,
seen it, let us know in the comments. If not, definitely go check that out. That's gonna have to be a weekend watch for me.
Korean
Old Boy.
only. Korean only though.
Oh, it's
Don't
probably crazy good then.
do not watch, what is it? Spike Lee. Don't watch the Spike Lee version.
Yeah, watch the original
Yeah.
Korean.
Yeah, let me tell you, you know, I I almost feel like the US culture doesn't what's a good way to put it? Doesn't It's definitely not obsessed with revenge like other cultures are. Like I think what you mentioned earlier, like forgiveness is like the other side of the coin. In either way, you're taking accountability and understanding what happened, right? But I feel like the U.S. is very much more on the but
Do
we
you
are
think they're more like cut them loose and just like go on about versus like
yeah,
plotting or trying to get revenge on that person or thing?
yeah, I feel like the US culture is very much like this cowboy culture. You know, I got really influenced by listening to this speaker talk about how Obama is like the ultimate cowboy and how, like just shooting from the hip, you know, whether it be good or bad, like oh there's a reporter that might not be in the best place. It's like blow him up anyway. Like we'll ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah. So would you say that speaks to like that? All that being said, like is American culture isn't too heavily set on revenge, but for those of for those people that do like choose revenge or seek it out, go after it, why do you think people choose revenge even when it costs them?
That's a really good question.
Because if you really think about it, I feel like revenge overall is it's kind of irrational. If you're being really, really honest and thinking about it. Now, still, that's just my opinion, but that's what I think. Like, it's irrational to really, like, me getting even with someone for something they did to me. Does that take away what they did to me? Like, no. Does it make me feel better temporarily in the moment? Sure, maybe. But like, are you permanently gonna, does it instantly heal you or something like that? I feel like no. Does it really contribute to your healing or whatever? Probably not.
You know the sunk cost fallacy?
No. You want to break it down for me real quick?
Sure, sure. It's this idea that if you've invested time, energy, money into something, you're better off getting to the end, even if it's hurting you. You're better off finishing it than cutting your losses.
Okay.
So like, and that's completely not that is completely false thinking, right? That's why it's called a fallacy. Like if you're stabbing yourself in the hand and you go, well, if I just put the knife all the way through my hand, I will no longer be stabbing myself in the hand. But you have to
You're
drive
like, what?
you have to drive it all the way through, you know? It's like
Where are you
obvious.
getting your logic?
Well, but like this is one of the non-logical things in a human's brain. Like this is what all those uh those old philosophers want you to like. This is what they were trying to get people around them away from.
So it's almost like how we touched on earlier, like how they say revenge activates the same brain centers as like winning a competition
Hmm.
or like reward. So maybe that has like is a large like reason for it, like that sense of like you're gaining something even though you're actually not. Like your logic or your rationale is really off. Like you said, it's one of those weird things in the brain where it's making me feel like I'm getting something, but logically I'm not. It's just a feeling or that release of dopamine or dopamine like chemical in the brain that's activating these centers.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like there's this because if you break it down even further, right? It's this past oriented decision making. So past oriented decision making is really common in uh you know people with trauma. Like it's very obvious in like PTSD. It's like, oh, I don't want to go to a concert that is really loud and aggressive because last time I was at a concert that was loud and aggressive, I got separated from my friends and stranded for hours. Like, but still, that's like, you know, that's that's past oriented decision making. You're limiting yourself by living on rules that aren't rules from the past. And that's kind of what revenge feels like to me. There's this idea that like, something 2 weeks ago is dictating the rest of your week instead of something 2 weeks from now dictating the time bef- before it.
Okay, okay, that's a good point. Yeah, exactly. You're basing like how you conduct yourself, like you said, on these rules from the past that you can't really apply anymore
Yeah.
to your like current situation.
And obviously, if those rules do end up applying again, like it makes the PTSD even worse. And like I understand that, but that's like worst case scenario, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I think it just has to do with like logically it doesn't make sense, but people's feelings, as we all know, aren't logical. Your feelings don't. They are what they are. You feel what you feel. It's not really, it doesn't filter through like real world knowledge or rationale. It's just like, okay, it is what it is. You're gonna feel what you feel in the moment, and you're gonna process it however you process it.
You're gonna process it how you process it. Did you feel like there's an aspect in someone's, especially a young man's life, where revenge shouldn't be shied away from?
Um, I do. First, I want to jump back really quick and change my answer to, I think the best type of revenge is the one that you mentioned. I don't know why I randomly just thought of this, but I was like the leveling up type of revenge. I would say that's the better type than the long game. Um, the long game's pretty good, but no, really I'm gonna change that answer to the leveling up, the revenge body, I
Okay,
guess.
okay.
As you had called it. So, but I would also say I think that type of revenge being said, I think that is the best type of revenge for anybody to really embrace, not even just men, but I would say specifically men, because I think men do deal with a lot of being slighted in different ways. Not that, women don't or anything like that, but I just know for a fact, being a man, like there's a lot of times like we got to deal with it. And I think the best way to process those feelings and emotions is to put it into your spiritual engine, as we've spoken on before, and use it as fuel to push you to achieve certain goals, leveling yourself up, getting in better shape, losing the weight, um, starting your bit, whatever it is you're doing. You got to use that to push you in the right direction versus just using it as combustion to create, I don't know, toxicity or depression or both. I'd say that that's a good one for people to really, and it is a form of revenge because it's almost like you're self-satisfying versus wanting to hurt someone so bad out of desperation that you end up hurting yourself too.
Yeah. So in this spiritual engine, right? Would you say that revenge is a clean fuel, or do you think that it comes with a lot of byproducts?
I would say it comes with a lot of byproducts. Um, but there's different types of fuel um that can create more or less of those byproducts. Like I would say, we're right now we're leaning in talking about the healthier like type of revenge. It's more like self-fulfilling leveling up type of revenge. I would say that's healthy. That's good fuel for your spiritual engine, if you will. That's going to only be good for you, and um that exhaust that we talked about, like you letting out potentially, will be minimal suffering and minimal negativity, You're not going to be able to ever phase it all out, as we all know, but it's going to be minimal. It'll be things you can deal with, and you're not carrying around this heavy weight of all this stuff because you're putting in the wrong fuel, and it's sticking and it's heavy and it doesn't go through and just burn off like it should. Stays in there, and you got to work harder and run harder emotionally, so it's draining. So I would say, yeah, that type of fuel is good fuel. It's a cleaner fuel versus, a traditional older style, thicker fuel that, yeah, you could run on this, but you're not gonna it's not gonna be efficient. It's going to downgrade the life of your spiritual engine, if you will, if you continue to like operate like that.
Yeah, like for example, like a thicker, older, like even more byproduct fuel would be like trying to run through the corporate ladder. You know,
Yes.
it's good. It's brutal, right? Comes with a lot of byproducts. You know, revenge might even be one of them. But
Yeah, I'm sure it's in a mix in there somewhere.
oh, you know what? Very true. I would say that the fuel that is the corporate grind is maybe 5% revenge, uh, maybe 35% self hate.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. There's a Yeah, you know what? Those are good numbers. 5% self hate. Yeah, it's very
I don't know. I mean, I'm over here on
little bit of
LinkedIn
toxic in there. No,
for real. Super toxic. Super toxic. So let's say we break so we break a life down like a hero's journey, right? So in the hero's journey, you escape the ordinary world to be called into adventure. You know, so let's say the call to adventure is when you become um, embridled with this revenge, right? That's your second step into becoming a hero, or your first step to becoming a hero. What if we removed the revenge and we replaced it with something like curiosity, right? I feel like that's a similar emotional fuel it, to revenge. Um,
Okay.
Similar in
I
that
could agree.
it's clean, it's natural, your body wants to do it. What's another fuel in the sense of revenge and curiosity?
A good question. Um, mm, I would okay. And so like another type of clean fuel or just another type of fuel?
Yeah, let's go with another clean fuel. Like
Okay.
I'm not even sure. Because I'm having a hard time thinking of something that's beyond curiosity and revenge. You know, that like revenge has like anger in it. It has like this willingness to work in it. Same with curiosity, you know, there's this drive. Okay, maybe what's another clean like driving desire?
I was gonna say, I think revenge, can stem from or create like determination, which that could be a good fuel or it could be a bad fuel. I think depending on what the goal is, like is the fuel good or bad based on where it's getting you, like based on where your destination is? Would that affect um the status of the fuel as good or bad?
Yeah.
Like if I'm determined, which is always, typically people would chalk that up as a good thing, like, oh yeah, determination. But if I'm determined to like hurt somebody really bad, it's like, okay, well, is that like good fuel you're putting into yourself, or is that like a bad negative fuel? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Based on your desired destination and or result. So I would say determination goes in there like under curiosity, and then I feel like you could factor both of those things under good and bad potentially. Or, I would lean more towards it's good fuel. It's just about the path you're taking with that fuel.
Okay. Okay.
So I would say determination, maybe even a little persistence.
Okay.
I definitely think pettiness is in there, which is obviously not a good fuel. That's kind of I'm going left here, but that would be on the side of bad fuel, like pettiness and just like
Yeah. Yeah. Because pettiness isn't, you know, that powerful, right? But
right.
you combine like pettiness with revenge and like social status. Now you've got like what, clout?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's the you know, I feel like there's these very like pure like the pure and an emotional drive is, the less dangerous it is for your spiritual engine. Like clout is dangerous for your spiritual engine, you know. You'll end up, at a Diddy party. I mean, I bet you there's people that ended up at Diddy parties as revenge.
I mean,
You know what I mean? But like, I'm sure they were able to get away from them afterwards because it was for revenge. It wasn't for the clout that came with being at a Diddy party. You know what I mean?
yeah, it was more or less like a one-off
Yeah.
to use that one time as the yeah, okay.
Yeah. Whereas like I don't know. I feel like the more integrations you have into a spiritual fuel is the more chance you have for that like gunking up of your engine.
Okay. And I feel like when you repeatedly do that, you kind of, you become what you don't like. That's what makes you into, you become
Yeah.
something else by gunking up your spiritual engine, if you will, with the wrong type of fuel, that thicker fuel, more negative.
That's a really good, I think that's a really good thing to touch on. Humans are this, I like how we started putting it, like this engine, right? This spiritual engine. And even like let's take it away from the spiritual engine side and just go from like we're just mechanical processes, organic mechanical processes, right? You know, the good fuel in leads to an easier running machine. So good fuel going into your spiritual engine should mean the same thing. Humans are like these ultimate processors, right? Truthfully, we can use anything for fuel, you know? There's, I mean, in Haiti they eat dirt. I mean, like literally, they're making dirt patties with like small amounts of flour mixed in, so and it's fueling them, not in a good way, but it is fueling them. And I think it's a real testament to just what humanity is. Like we are like a momentum machine. We have a big flywheel spinning, and it's like, well, you better keep feeding the engine. Doesn't really matter what you throw in it, just got to be something.
So yeah, it's almost like just a keep you going fuel. Like just keep it
Yeah,
running.
yeah. And like the difference between like keep it running or like, oh, we're racing. I think is really something unique that humans are built for.
That's a
Like
good point.
like panic. Like you know how crazy people get stuff done when there's panic. Like they're moving like, oh, how did we even do that? You know? How did I
Sheer
even have
panic.
exactly? How did I have the emotional capacity to complete this, hellish weekend with my in-laws? And it's like, oh, well, you feed that spiritual engine a little panic, and I mean, you're off to the races. That's like some methanol or whatever they pump. I think it's methanol. They pump into F1 cars, or they used to. I don't know how they
Yeah,
do it anymore, but
or like a mix of it
yeah,
with some other I don't know additive shit.
yeah. Ah,
But see, and that's the one of the dangers of because I feel like revenge feels good in the moment, but it can chain you to what you're trying to like escape at the same time. Like
very much
it
so.
can keep you, it can like tether you to that. It's like keeping a picture of somebody you hate in your wallet, but just so you can remember who to hate. It's weird. That doesn't. It's like, and then you hear about people that want revenge and they finally get it, and then they just kind of feel empty because the
They're
real
all
fuel wasn't a positive, it was a negative. So you're kind of left on E regardless. It was more obsession than it was um a real destination or goal because there is no goal with that. Once you get it, it's like that's it. Like you don't have anything else. And when you're obsessed, it's expensive. It costs time, energy, money. So yeah, you end up you end up left on empty.
there's this. I used to keep a magic card in my wallet because I hated it so much, bro. It was Kumaji Kumaji witches, right? Bro, it ruined my life so many times. Like I'm dead serious. Like there were weeks where I didn't have as much money as I should have had because of this card, right? So I'm keeping him in my wallet. I'm like I would like open my wallet to not have money, and I would just see that card in there. I'm like, oh fuck, you know. I was oh man, what was it? Damn, I can't even remember his name. I want to call him Mono Black Nick, but that's all he played. All he played was Mono Black in every format. All he wanted to do was like, I'm gonna take some of your life, I'm gonna gain some of my life, I'm gonna zom pull these zombies out. Oh man, I had so much. There was like the amount of revenge that I had. No, I'm dead serious, bro. Like this dude. I mean, truthfully, it was like I lost out on $50 one week, and I'm like, I'm never losing to that fucking loser again. And like, hey, because like, you take advantage. Like, it gives revenge does give you tunnel vision though, like for sure. You know, like
Yeah,
I was
agreed.
losing to decks that weren't even as good as the witches. You know, I was just like I was getting my ass kicked by like I mean, who cares? There's this deck called Baubles, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, make my weak creatures have like big swords. And it's like, it's so bad. And here I am, I'm willing to lose to that deck, so I can't lose to the witches. It's like, oof, so so tunnel visioned. I'm
Yeah,
a
it's
big
it's.
revenge guy. I'm a big revenge
I
guy.
mean, I don't blame you. Like I was saying, it's really easy to like, it's easy for your brain to go there. It's easy to convince yourself. It's easy to make it seem okay, like it's the right thing to do. And I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying it's easy to make that decision that it is.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes, I like revenge so much that sometimes it's nice to just like make the other person think you got revenge. Like that's how revenge that's how nice revenge is. Like there was this guy that he he was very mean to me. I mean, he would call me a fag constantly. He for some reason like I mean like and I understand like it was a different time, but
Right.
I mean, he would like try to ruin my night with it.
So I would say the best type of revenge is anything that's I think more about you than it is about the other person or getting even with that person. Cuz I would say
Okay,
getting
okay.
even, that type of revenge where you want to get even with the person is you're lowering yourself to do something you probably wouldn't normally do just to try to equal what they did or try to like recreate what you're feeling but make them feel it. Because I would say, sometimes the coldest thing you could do is nothing. They're expecting you to retaliate and, give them this huge storm, but you don't give them anything. It's like, you know,
Mm.
it's like psychological judo.
Where do you think killing yourself falls in there? Like obviously that's too much of yourself,
Right, right. But
right?
it's a factor. It happens. We know this.
Yeah. Sadly,
I
sadly.
would say, I would say, that I would say it factors under like the determination, because I mean you have to have that if you're going that route. You're pretty committed at that point. Obviously it's not a good thing at all. But even to the point where every act of revenge that you do, I would say leaves like a trail. Not just for them, but for you. So you got to think about, it might not seem like it in those moments, but it's almost like, what's your legacy going to be? You know, are you the one that burned it all down, or are you the one who rebuilt something better out of spite? So,
Yeah.
if you choose to take your life, it's like, well, what are you leaving behind? And was that to me, there is no justifiable cause, but I mean, that damn sure isn't it to like get back at someone else. Because you're not even going to be
Also,
around to experience whatever desired result you may want to reach.
yeah, very true.
So I would say I'll
Very
call
true.
them spite builders. The spite builders are my favorite type of people. They don't they don't just win, they win in a way that makes the other person's ego suffer, but without compromising themselves. I feel like it's like a natural win.
Okay, I like that. A natural win.
you know?
Yeah. Like I used to think like my revenge on my roommates who would stay up really late drinking. My revenge would be I would make really nice breakfast because they would all want to be sleeping in,
But you
hungover,
smell
and
it.
I'm like, you smell the bacon. I know you smell it.
If you're cooking bacon in your house, there's a whole vicinity around your house that smells that bacon cooking. Tell me. Besides even it, obviously inside, but
No, because that's a really good point.
and that's a safe
But
revenge.
why? Yeah, yeah. It was very very safe, to tell you the truth.
Little pettiness in there. Like, you know what? You guys want to stay up late drinking,
Oh,
partying, but
there's a lot of
but
petty.
that's the thing. Like with pettiness, like it's precise. A lot of the times, it's very like specific what you're tapping
Mhm.
on.
Oh, you want to throw up in the bathroom?
See, you're getting at something specific. You're like, yeah, you guys want to make a nasty ass mess, and then you're sleeping in the next day. I gotta wake up and step over all this bullshit.
You know, there was a time I made uh like this, so like a uh lentils,
But yeah, okay,
like they're up there on like the worst tasting, boring, like cardboard ass, you know. But I would make like a really like vinegary like Indian style lentil.
okay,
And this one day, like one of my roommates, he's just like projectile vomiting, you know? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm so annoyed. Like at this point, like I was like breaking down, like grumpy, because like I couldn't use my own bathroom. So I just like start cooking food, and before I knew it, I had made this like Indian lentil meal that was like it smelled like vomit, like to him, because all
man,
he could smell was like the sour vinegar. And I felt like I had pushed it a little too far on that one, but like I didn't even realize I was doing it. That's where I think revenge can be too much, is when it's like it comes so natural, that it's like, oh, no, yeah, I did kill your family.
All calm.
I did, in fact. Yeah, like you're Anakin going through the Jedi Temple.
Kid's face when the lightsaber turns on, like, oh, this is happening. That's when it gets a little too real. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, that like that Sith mindset, Like I know that a lot of stuff isn't canon anymore, but like becoming a Sith wasn't always as like the evil side of it, right? There was in the books there was this idea that like a Sith was just an emotional Jedi,
Yeah,
like like that allowed it to flow, you know, the the rain versus the cup of water, you know. Yeah.
that's a good point. So, do you have a specific time at all in your life when you took revenge on someone or got revenge um, for something to get back at someone, or you just felt slighted, so you took matters into your own hands?
Yeah, a
All
lot,
right,
a lot.
all right, give us something. Give me something.
I was getting pressed at a job. I won't say where it was
Yeah, yeah, we don't need.
because these dudes are psychos. But like they're still out there living the the life that I'm about to be describing. So I worked at this job early in the morning, a 3 a.m. shift, and I was the only person that wasn't a felon working at this job.
Okay, man.
And so again, I'm not the hardest core dude either. Like I I would rather have a job than fight a coworker at the job type situation.
Right. When it comes down to it,
So
yeah, I'd rather keep my job.
yeah, the only other white dude that worked at this job, um, big wig energy, if you catch my drift,
Okay.
and he was repping it like
Proud.
I'm a wig, I'm a proud wig, like I'm exact words left his mouth. So
He
like
is proud then.
yeah, and whatever. But so one day it's like 5 a.m. We're setting up some Christmas stuff, and all of a sudden, like, dude tackles me from behind and like pulls out a knife that isn't like a box cutter or anything, and he's like, "I heard you were talking shit about me. Like, we're scrapping right now. Like, let's go." I'm 19 at the time. I'm like, "What are you talking about, bro?" Like, truthfully, didn't even know his name.
You're like, heard this from
I
who?
was I was literally like, yeah, who's talking shit? Like I'm still on the ground. Like I didn't even get up. Truthfully, I'm hurting. Like he crashed me into some like big aluminum fucking
Damn.
shelves and stuff. And I'm just like, so all the other dudes are like gathering up, and they're like, "Whoa, why are you being mean to Everest? Like, what the fuck is like?
Yeah, anyone that knows
What are
you
you
is like,
talking?
what?
Like, yeah, everyone knew that like I mean, I was a kid, but like I wasn't dumb. I wasn't going around talking shit. I wasn't picking fights. As a dude I went to middle school with, like made him put the knife away, and like so later we all on a break outside. They're smoking cigarettes. He throws a cigarette at me,
Man.
and I'm like, "Hey, bro, like, chill out." I'm like over here, like texting my girlfriend at the time. It's like early in the morning, like with my little, T9 flip phone.
Yeah. You staying in your lane? Like, I let the
And
shit go from earlier. I'm
yeah, yeah, bro. He throwing like half smoked cigarettes at me. I'm like, yo, what are we doing? Like, he's like, no, we're fighting. Like, we're gonna get off work in like an hour. Like, meet me at my car. It's like we're parked right next to each other. It's like of course I'm meeting you at your
so you
car.
got no
Like we all walk out. We all walk out at the same time. Like I meet you at your car every day. Like so like we're walking out and he's like, yeah, we're gonna scrap, bro. We're gonna scrap. I'm like, okay, like whatever. Like I guess we're getting. So we get over to his car. I'm like standing like by his trunk, and because like I'm
yeah.
ready, you know. All the other coworkers are like hanging around. Bro, like starts his car, turns on some music,
No.
jabs me, and then jumps in his car and drives. And I'm like, yo, like what's going on? Like I've literally never been in an experience like this. Like everyone I've ever fought has been like, oh yeah, we'll just
They line
fight,
it up.
you
Yeah.
know?
Like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, yeah. I should I should have known like he didn't just want music playing, you know? Like I should have recognized that, like looking back.
But that's
But
weird
I
in the
was so
moment
mad
too.
at this point.
That's weird. Like, you're probably thrown for a look. Like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, everything was weird. Like everything was weird. And like so all of our coworkers are like, yo, like what did he just do? Like what like literally like what's going on, right? No one knew, like no one spoke to him the rest of the day. People are calling him on their phone like, yo, where'd you go? like, like nothing, right? So the next day he's at work. He's at work and everyone's like, yo, Everest is really mad. Like you either gotta apologize or like you gotta actually like square up. Like this is
Yeah, he's to the
crazy.
point where he's like, "Oh, we
Like I'm
lining it up now. If you want to
yeah, like I'm like, let's do this like company time. Like
on the clock."
it's 4
Yeah.
a.m. Like who cares? Like yeah, like we were unloading trucks, right? So like I'm in the truck. I'm throwing boxes. I'm like, send them in. There's no cameras in here.
Yeah, step into the
Let's do
trailer.
it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. And so the bosses are like, oh well, he says that you're getting real mouthy, and then that's when I lost it. That's when I lost it. I'm like, nah, this dude attacked me at work, attacked me after work.
Unprovoked.
Like yeah, I'm provoked. Like I thought this is what we do. Like everyone else behaves how I behave. Like this is the one that's behaving the weird way. And they're like, well, we don't actually have cameras of him tackling you at work. We don't have cameras on that early because there's nobody stealing. Like there's nobody in the store stealing. And I'm like, okay, bro. I went out there and I put his car up on 4 cinder blocks. I just, it was
That's right.
15 minutes. I was so fucking fast with it. I threw that thing up on cinder blocks, and I was just like, I mean, good luck, bitch.
Yeah, for real. All four
Like,
motherfuckers. God damn. We call that hood revenge.
I
Like,
was
his shit was on blocks when he came out. He don't know what.
well, no. So bro. So I threw it up on blocks. Somebody took his wheels. It wasn't me. Like I felt like the revenge felt so good, bro. I felt so good because like on my break, I was like, I was going fast with the, shitty jack, and I'm
15
like, oh
minutes.
yeah,
That's good. Yeah,
bro,
well, I
I
wasn't
got
being
that
careful.
bitch. I was, nah, I mean, I was scratching his shit, like, bro, when I came out after work and there were no fucking wheels on that car and it was just the neighborhood got him, bro, it felt, it's like there was revenge and then there was like, oh no, the whole neighborhood fucking got revenge for me
Yeah,
too.
they all stepped in like, well, I mean, it's half done. The car's up.
Yeah.
Like you don't even need a jack at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, truthfully, like, he had already had his catalytic converter taken. So, like, this car was just
It's only
like
a matter of time.
essentially like,
They'll be back.
yeah. But, bro, it was, I don't know. I still think about that revenge
That was
because it's one of those ones that where I didn't lose my cool. Like, I've lost my cool and, like, left a half naked man tied up in someone's bed.
okay. See, now that
And then, like,
that's
you know?
something you might not ever forget. You're like, yeah, I'll never fucking forget this.
Yeah, but like I lost myself on that one, you know? Like when cuz I convinced this dude to get in this girl's bed tied up and like covered in honey, right? And I'm like, well, see, that's what like she had a crush on this guy. So it's like, how can I humiliate her as much as possible, but like there still be like this positivity. They did end up dating after that. So like I count it as like a kind of win
That's clever because
in a positive.
you can humiliate someone without ever touching them or anything.
Yeah, that was the idea. Cause she had done the same shit. She filled my locker with like glitter and like bottom to top. I still don't know how she did it. Like glitter and
It's the
fucking
worst.
like photoshopped Zac Efron photos. I'm like, this is a great prank, but like, I definitely let myself get away from myself on that little piece of revenge.
I mean, it seemed like it was deserved on his end. You know, you caused disruption, not destruction. I mean, you didn't take the wheels, so we can't chalk that up to you. But
Right, right.
disruption, not destruction. Good revenge. In my opinion, that is good revenge. The best revenge changes the scoreboard, not the scorekeeper, I would say.
Yeah, kind of like punk music. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, exactly.
the whole idea of punk music is speaking to power, right?
Exactly, exactly.
You know,
See, and that's the type of revenge that's, worth talking about over a drink in like 10 years. You're like, oh, yeah, this one time, like that's you made it an art, and that's
yeah,
what you're supposed to do if you're taking revenge.
yeah,
Hey, revenge is like the petty
yeah. I
Olympics.
think,
It's all about the creativity and, you know, what do you bring it to the what do you bring it to the table?
yeah. Oof, oof. I don't know. See, now I feel feel way I'm gonna have to tell you about some of the revenge that I can't talk about on here. Maybe someday,
That'll
but
be the behind the scenes,
OnlyFans.
Only revenge.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is like before OnlyFans was like mostly ho shit, like there were some really good podcasts on OnlyFans for free. Like really
Are
changed
you
the
suggesting? Are you suggesting that we branch out to another platform? No, it's fine. You know what though?
you know what?
I
How
did hear about that though. I did hear like early on it was like podcasts and like even like different types of artists and stuff. Like it was exclusive to
yeah.
their fan base, exclusive to that artist or even certain groups. Um
No, for real. Like there was like these Bay Area dudes that if you wanted tickets, the first place you go was OnlyFans.
to go like exclusively through
Like,
them.
yeah. Because it's like that's just how they decided to sell their shit because like that's kind
Yeah,
of the whole idea of
it's
OnlyFans.
exclusive, you gain a following. Um you have like direct contact with that following and yeah, no, I could see it's very lucrative platform for that kind of obviously other things too, but no, like the like starting a business or starting a podcast to gain your following or what have you, a brand, anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I see nothing wrong with the platform except they take too much money or whatever.
Yeah, you know, certain people they made it into like I think something different than the initial premise was. And then as soon as all this money got involved, it was a wrap, you know. The shit's in play.
Yeah.
It's in play with all the money that's fucking getting funneled in there.
Damn, bro.
We did damn near a good 2 hours, bro.
Yeah. I'm looking at the clock right now. I've got like 3 minutes to midnight.
We can
Oof.
call it, bro. I know you're already
I think
on fumes.
I think we might have to. I think we might have to. We'll I don't know. What do you think about for the next episode? Do you want to do something fun, lighthearted? I feel like we talked about some sad shit tonight.
Yeah, we'll pick it up. We'll give next episode a real positive, lighthearted feel, something funny, something easily relatable.
Yeah.
Um yeah, get some laughs. Get some laughs going. Not so much of the deep we've been
Bro,
touching on some
bro,
deep
what
stuff.
yeah. What even is funny though? Like we're over here laughing about like getting revenge on
Well, it is. I
like
think it is to a degree. It is funny because you know, whether people want to admit it or not, we all have these thoughts. They pass through our head, intrusive thoughts, whatever you want to call it. Um, it's all there. It's all really there. But
yeah.
I got a couple ideas. I'm gonna shoot you some stuff. Um, and then we'll take our pick. Take our pick.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
So thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Revenge, the Petty Olympics. Stay clever, stay dangerous, and remember, sometimes the best payback is making them wonder if you thought about them at all. Shout out to my boy Red, another banger. See you guys on the next
And
one.
everybody listen, I hope you have a good night too. Yeah.